So welcome back, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I wanted to talk to you about the power of forgiveness. And forgiveness is something that we have all had to do at some point in time in our lives. It's something that we will have to do ongoing throughout the rest of our lives. We're always going to have to forgive someone for doing something. And all these years that I have known the theory behind forgiveness, and I have had to actually forgive many people, as have, of course, many of you. I've had to forgive many people for many different things that they've done wrong to me in my life. And I've also had to ask forgiveness for anything that I may have done that would have hurt someone else. So I wanted to share this message with you today because, number one, I think there's a lot of unforgiveness going on in our society today, just in general across the board. I think there's a lot of people who are holding on to resentment and they're holding on to anger. And in holding on to anger and holding on to resentment and holding on to unforgiveness, you can actually block your own blessings. That's truth. If you walk around with unforgiveness in your heart, you can actually prevent something that you're believing for and praying for and having faith in. You can actually block that blessing by walking around with unforgiveness in your heart. And I read something many years ago that has stuck with me, and it was that one of the most difficult things that we will ever do when it comes to forgiveness is to accept an apology that we never got from someone who wasn't even sorry for what they did. So let that just sort of sink in for a moment. Think about all those times that you've had to forgive someone or accept that you're never going to get an apology from someone who did something terribly wrong to you. And that's one of the most difficult things to do, is to actually say in your heart, I am going to forgive this person who has never apologized to me for something that they did wrong, because they were never willing to accept that they did anything that was harmful. So by accepting an apology that you're never going to get or that you've never gotten, it doesn't mean that there isn't still time. Maybe that person at some point in time will come to you in their life and admit that what they did wrong and apologize for it. But you don't have to wait for that apology to forgive them and move on with the rest of your life. So accepting an apology from someone that you're never probably going to get, or that you have never gotten, who isn't even sorry for what they did, that is a really difficult thing to do. But if you hold on to that and you hold on to that unforgiveness, you can actually block your own blessings from happening. You can actually block wonderful things from coming into your life. Whenever you try to move through the door of your future, if you are trying to drag your past with you, your past isn't going to fit through the door. So there's not enough room in your future for you and your past. So you're either going to have to stay back behind you in your past, or you're going to have to let go of the past to move through the doorway of your future. And one of my very favorite motivational speakers, Lisa Nichols, she said something recently, and I think this was like sort of a I get it moment, where even though I've understood the power of forgiveness, I've understood the necessity for forgiveness in my life, it makes more sense when I tell you how she explained it. It somehow was just a different play on words, but oftentimes that different play on words is what resonates with us. So we've been told our whole lives what forgiveness is. But Lisa Nichols recently, in a video that I watched, said, I'm going to tell you what forgiveness isn't. And this made such a huge impact on me, and that's why I want to share it with all of you. So, here goes. Forgiveness isn't pardoning someone else's behavior. Forgiveness isn't saying what happened to you is okay. Forgiveness isn't admitting that you were wrong. Forgiveness actually has less to do with the other person and more to do with ourselves. So that was so like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. All these years we've all been told forgiveness is this. Forgiveness is letting go of the past. Forgiveness is forgiving people that have hurt you. Forgiveness is not letting them have a hold on you. But when you say forgiveness isn't, it sort of validates for you why it should be easier to forgive someone. Because the minute that you realize that forgiveness isn't pardoning someone else's behavior, it's not saying that's fine that you did that to me. Pardoning isn't accepting that what happened to you was okay. Forgiveness isn't saying that. Forgiveness isn't saying that you were wrong. But a lot of times we feel like if we forgive someone, we're doing all of those things. We are saying it was okay that you did that to me. I am admitting that I was wrong in the situation. It's saying you did it. It's okay. I'm pardoning that behavior. It's acceptable to do that to other people. Forgiveness is none of those things. And we all hear the cliches and the different quotes on forgiveness. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die and things like that. But this just really settled in with me. And so I started searching and thinking, was there anybody or anything that I haven't, forgiven someone for? And there really wasn't at the time anything that I could think of. But the following week, I did have to practice forgiveness. And when I had to practice that forgiveness, I immediately went back to that motivational video from Lisa Nichols and said, you know what? I am going to forgive this person, but that does not mean what they did was okay. It does not make me wrong. And it's not pardoning their behavior and saying your actions are okay, they are acceptable, and that it's okay for you to continue. So what I do instead is, and I've done this for years, I forgive someone and then I pray for them. Because one of the most powerful things that you can do for your own life and for your own well-being is to forgive someone and then pray that the Lord will bless them. Pray that the Lord will reveal to them what they've done wrong. But walking around with unforgiveness and anger is only going to hurt you. And I know that this is something that, has been talked about for years. I know it's something that's been drilled into our heads since we were children. I know that it's something that we all do. We all forgive. And I know that it's something that we're always going to have to continue to do. but I want you to really settle in to the serious dangers of unforgiveness and how dangerous it can really be to your life, to your health, to your emotional well-being, and all of those things. And now I want to share with you, and I want you to understand the power of forgiveness, because once you have forgiven someone, it's not about just saying, I forgive you. It's about truly having that feeling just wash over you that you have you fully have forgiven someone. You don't feel that anger when you hear their name. You know, you don't get that anxious feeling whenever you, have to encounter them, or whatever your case may be. You know that is when you have truly forgiven that person. So maybe there's someone in your life that you need to forgive. Maybe you're blocking a blessing right now that you've been believing for and you've been praying for. My wonderful, wonderful motivational evangelist whom I love, and I actually was mentioned on her channel last year, is Terry Savelle Foy. And she always says, a person with no vision for their future will always return to their past. And, in the Bible it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So in order to have a vision for your life and be believing for things in your life to happen, you can't walk around with a ton of unforgiveness. And once you forgive someone, you have to stop talking about it. You have to stop talking about all the bad things that they did to you and bringing it up, because that's just like having a Band-Aid and just having a sore, and then anytime that you want to show somebody that wound, you just lift that Band-Aid up and you show them your wound, and it's always there and you're always carrying it around with you. That's not what true forgiveness is. True forgiveness is forgiving, feeling that feeling, and then moving on with your life, praying for that person, and then carry on with what you are believing for and the blessings that you're looking for. So there's a lot of power in forgiveness outside of just that internal feeling that we get whenever we forgive someone, and that sort of relief that we have once we've forgiven someone. There's a lot of power in forgiveness. So I wanted to share this video with you guys today, because if there's any of you out there who feel like you need to forgive someone, or if you feel like you're walking around with unforgiveness in your heart, I want to tell you there's a lot of power in forgiving someone, or even a group of someone's. There's a lot of power in that. And once you forgive someone, you gain back control of your own life. So I hope that someone out there has found this video useful. Check out my video description for links to all my social media sites. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. We'd love to have you here as part of the At Home with Zane family. Check out my video description for links to all my social media sites. My Instagram, my Pinterest, my At Home with Zane website is on there. Follow me on social media. I share a lot of information over there. I truly hope that this has helped someone today, because I know that hearing these messages are certainly things that have helped me and will continue to help me grow in my life. So I hope that someone out there has really been touched by this message today, because I felt truly, truly compelled to share it with all of you.